Board of Aldermen, the April 2nd, 2024. If you will join Alder Parker in prayer and pledge.
Thank you, Father, for this day. We thank you for your blessings and the fact that we can worship you in a nation that's free. Help us today and every day to do what's best for you, that we see you, not us. We ask that you look over us tonight at each one of our departments and all of our city employees, and that we make the right decision for the people of Long Beach. For we ask these things in Jesus' name and his sake. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's you. Or me. That's me. I'll be touching me. Get out of here. Get going. All right, roll call. Patrick is out tonight. Pete?
Here.
Donald?
Here.
Mikey?
Here.
Angie is on the phone with us here. Angie? Oh, sound like you got voice problems tonight. But anyway, Bernie?
Present.
All right, we do have a quorum tonight. Public hearings, we have none. I do have an announcement and presentation, and I'm quite honored to do this, and I'm going to get out front to do this. Frank, y'all come up. This is it.
Hey, Mayor, there's a mic right there. If you, microphone, if you want.
Right here.
Well, go into the system.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Got to get it where the system will pick it up. Frank, I just want you to know how proud I am personally for you and your commitment to Long Beach. 35 years that you've been in business here in Long Beach at the Energy Club, and the support that the main one, the wife that stands behind the man that's successful. So we can't go by without mentioning that. So on behalf of the city, the citizens, the central government that we have here, we just want to thank y'all, and we want to recognize y'all for what you've done and what you mean to us. The City of Long Beach wishes to recognize and congratulate Frank Oliver's Energy Club on the 35th year anniversary of being a successful business in the City of Long Beach. The Energy Club is a vital part of our community in providing the resources and encouraging our citizens to be healthy and fit. We wish to thank you for your efforts and involvement in community leadership roles and participation in city events. The energy you represent leads to a successful business. We congratulate you on your success of 35 years in business, as this is a momentous occasion for our city. We wish you many more years of successful ownership and a thriving business and in future endeavors. Signed by me as the mayor and authorized by the board. We thank you. And I want to say one thing. As I read this and it got down to the part about keeping us healthy, I kind of sucked my stomach in and held my chest out a little bit more. I was really proud. I'm really proud of what they do for our community. And I also want to make one more comment. Frank, how long have you been chairman of the planning and development?
About 20 years now.
20 years. And that's
I've been on the planning commission for about 20 years. I've been chairman about 15 of them.
Yeah, so that's dedication that we have, not only through his business here, but through his volunteer. That's a non-paying position, and he has committed that long to us as a city. So, Frank, we want to thank you. I want to thank you for allowing him to serve this time with us and be a part of what we've got going on here. We just want to, as a city, thank you and say congratulations.
Hey, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate you and all the aldermen for recognizing it. And I appreciate, all the support from the community. I have to say that our staff and our members is what makes us successful. They've supported us. I've got members that have been with us 25 years. I got staff that have been with us 16 and 17 years. But they make us successful. I want to thank them and recognize them as well.
Very good, Frank. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you. job, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah, told me that earlier.
If it gets turned down, it gets turned down.
Yeah.
Okay, Frank, thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all being here and allowing us to honor y'all. Let's see, let me see where I'm at. Any amendments to the municipal docket? Here none, we'll move forward with approval of minutes of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen for March the 19th, 2024, regular and executive session. The motion is second.
Motion.
You got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Here none. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Planning and Development Commission for March the 28th, 2024. Motion and second for discussion.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Here none. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Y'all excuse me for a second. I'm getting something to do with the business that we're doing here tonight on my cell.
I
You
handled
got it?
I
Okay,
handled it.
thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
It was sent to me as well.
Okay, thank you, Don. Next, we have approved docket of claims number 040224. Motion and second. Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Here none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have unfinished business of the library appointment. We had a couple of names that was brought to us, and I think Donald might have the information we need.
Mr. Mayor, upon speaking with Alderman Johnson and Alderman Bennett, I'd like to nominate Miss Michelle Dasher.
Okay, we got a motion.
Second.
And a second. Is there any discussion? Only discussion I would have is to say thank you.
She's in the audience in the back on the left.
Okay, thank you so much for stepping forward. It's an honor to have you to step forward and volunteer like this, to be a part of this board, and we thank you so much for doing that. So, any more discussion? Here none. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have new business, property tax abatement request, Third and Town Green LLC.
Motion.
We got a motion to approve,
Second.
and we have a second discussion.
I'd like to say that tax abatement, we need to put it for 4 years.
For 4 years on this particular one?
Yes.
Okay. Is that amendment to your motion, Mikey? or
Yes,
is
sir.
that- Pardon me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The amendment to Mikey's original motion is that we approve this tax abatement, and it's for a 4-year limit.
We have a letter from Keeney saying that this falls within the guidelines of our tax abatement, which we have an ordinance that was established in August of 2018, considering tax abatements for businesses that, with certain guidelines, and this falls within it.
This meets the guidelines 100%. There's a minimum threshold of 500,000, and this one surpasses that amount. So, all right, any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Nay.
Nay on, okay, let me do a roll call on that. Patrick is out, so will Pete?
Nay.
Nay. Donald?
Aye.
Mikey?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Angie? Yes, okay. Barely heard it, but yes. Thank you, Angie. The motion passes. Next, we have grant agreement NRCS Dearman and Magnolia for drainage. Motion is second for approval.
So move.
Second.
And we got a motion and second for approval. Let me get to this so I can kind of explain what this is. This is, got what it was now.
This is some bank stabilization.
Yeah, the bank stabilization on Troutman Avenue. Is this the one that's on Troutman?
This one's Dearman and Magnolia.
Dearman and 90, yes, okay. And there's, it's 100 and, total project's 141,000 has been previously approved. So we got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hear none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have a grant agreement again with NRCS Nicholson Drainage, and I think this was the bank stabilization for about $61,000, almost $62,000 previously approved, got to be signed off on. So we got a motion second. Is there any further discussion?
Get a
Did not
motion?
get a
No, I
motion.
didn't get a motion.
No,
I'm
sir.
sorry. I need a motion in a second before I discussed it there. I apologize. Again, it was for about $62,000 total. So any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have a resolution of eminent domain, and we have a resolution in front of us presented to us by our attorney. This is a matter of bookkeeping, and this is referring to an eminent domain that we have at Klondike Road and Commission Road intersection for that improvement project to add storage lanes and turn lanes. Counselor, do you have anything you need to add to that?
The resolution is required to be filed with the complaint, which is prepared to go forward. So we need the resolution to go ahead and file the complaint.
Thank you.
We don't have a motion yet either.
Motion
I
to
have
approve.
motion, sorry.
All right, we got a motion and a second to approve this. This will be a roll call. Pete?
Aye.
Donald?
Aye.
Angie? All right, Mike?
Aye.
And Bernie?
Aye.
She's sitting to my left, I gotta call her. All right, motion carries, thank y'all. Next, we have award engineering, ARPA, MCWI drainage, motion and second.
So move.
Second, sorry.
Thank y'all. All right, this, where did I put this at? This is a recommendation for the engineering on this project, which is a number of different projects within the scope of this ARPA work. And it looks like, well,
Recommending to.
yeah, after the study and review by a review board, Overstreet and Associates have been chosen to carry out this engineering work. Okay. We have motion second, the motion needs to be amended to approve Overstreet and Associates with the second also.
That's amended motion.
Okay. And our motion's been amended to award this to Overstreet and Associates. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have school board appointments, scheduled interviews. Need a motion and a second for discussion.
Motion.
Second.
Second discussion. We have any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I don't know if it's at the pleasure of the board, but in my opinion, I think we could go off the resumes unless I'm just outvoted.
Okay, you making an amended motion to
No, I just wanted to.
comment? to
That was
see?
my comment.
Well,
But if you guys feel like we need to do that, I talked to Angie, she feels like we need to. I'm just kind of voicing my thoughts out front. But, so that's where I'm at.
My thoughts, Donald, is that's the last two appointments, we conducted interviews, and my thoughts are for continuity purposes.
Fair enough.
I think,
see where you're going.
my thoughts are, I think we need to have interviews, but that's just my opinion.
That's, like I said, I just wanted to mention that, but if
You got
there was
Angie
an
on the
opinion.
phone, and she has expressed to continue with the interviews. Pete, y'all got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, let's,
All right, well, let's somebody make a motion which way we want to go on this, and
Nope,
amend that motion.
Mr. Mayor, I strike my comment then.
Okay.
There's a majority that's already spoken, so I'm good with it.
Okay, so we need to set interviews. Are you ready to set a time for them?
We will get in touch with all the applicants and schedule them if y'all will give me a time and date and a time frame.
What about Tuesday of next week will be out,
Right, and then we have a work
board meeting, and
work
then a work
session.
session. So what's the time frame that we've got to make this, I don't want to overrun the clock on when we've got to appoint someone.
Um, 16th day of April, so
So we've got to do something. We could
before
come-
the next meeting.
We could come back to a Thursday afternoon if y'all would like. The 4th,
Planning meets in here at
Planning meets
5:30.
on
We
it.
could do it that
Yeah.
afternoon or early evening.
I would say the 4th would be our best date to make sure we can get it in.
What, this Thursday?
That's two days from now?
2 days from now,
Okay.
if we can get the candidates. And if not, we may have to look at a Friday afternoon, because we're up against the clock on having to have somebody before
We
the,
need to have somebody, I highly suggest that we have somebody by the next meeting.
yes, we're gonna have to.
According to our advertisement, that's when y'all.
Oh,
We
okay.
got to.
Sorry.
We got to
There you
by
go.
the 16th. I couldn't remember if we'd done it for the
I missed that part.
first meeting in May or right
Fourth
here
at
the
5
second.
o'clock, George?
Yeah, I would think we would set them at 5 o'clock and let you contact every one of them. But we need to make sure that we allow ourselves, in case we can't get somebody here on a Thursday, that we allow a time frame on a Friday also.
Fair enough.
So be prepared to be here for a Friday if need be.
How long would y'all like to set each?
I think we had them last time for 15 minutes.
Okay. So I'll set one like every 20
yeah.
minutes.
That might be my COVID brain.
And Angie has
chemo brain
some
speaking.
prepared questions, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, we have a motion by Pete and a second by Bernie, and we'll set this for the 4th, for the interviews, and the 5th for carryover if we miss anybody. Any further discussion? Here none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have revisit shooter-ready proposition, Alderman McGooey.
Yeah, I put this back on the
Go ahead, we'll
agenda.
do a discussion on this,
Oh.
we don't know what's going to happen.
We need a motion and.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get a
Okay.
motion in a second on this, just make
make
sure
the
we
motion,
clear
I'll
by
second it.
rules.
I'll make a motion, we readdress the shooter-ready
And I'll
proposition.
second it.
Okay, we got a motion
Now-
second, now we're
now you're
legally
good,
in
sorry.
good discussion.
Just for transparency and to bring the board on the same page with what I've been doing, we received an email after our last meeting, either the next day or 2 days later, saying that we inadvertently directed Jeanette to go to the Planning and Zoning Commission with her very professionally prepared proposition, and we were told that we did not, that was not procedurally correct. I did reach out to Shooter Ready, Jeanette and Sarah, and I told them that we inadvertently gave them incorrect information. And at that time, I also told Jeanette that I wasn't trying to in any way run her business, but this is going to be a matter that's going to, I'm sure, drum up some public interest and some public input. So I suggested to Jeanette that she get and obtain a video that demonstrates the decibel level of this unit that she's proposing, so that people can actually witness on a video what it constitutes, what effects it has on the public surrounding it, realizing, as we all do, that there are homes within probably 300 feet, maybe less, I don't know. The reason I put it back on the board, on the agenda, excuse me, is so that Jeanette and Sarah can get some clarity as to exactly what the next step is, and I yield to council. I believe that at this point, we're looking at a public hearing and an ordinance that needs to be addressed. Is that correct?
Go ahead.
The Mayor, when we first addressed this, kind of on short notice, I think we all agreed, and I think, as I recall, I even recommended that we send it to the Planning Commission where they could schedule a public hearing, we could get some more input and maybe some more specifics about the project. In hindsight, and having heard from the Planning Commission, there is not a specific ordinance which authorizes activity for them to conduct a hearing, so they were perfectly within their right to send it back to us to reconsider. Alderman McGooey is correct that, having considered that, I think what this board needs to do is to decide whether or not it wants to amend our current ordinance, which prohibits discharge firearms within the city, to have an exception for authorized activities such as this shooter-ready position, and what requirements such as distance from schools, churches, insurance, other things of that nature that the ordinance might require as part of an exception. And we could have a public hearing on that proposed ordinance amendment. It sounds like a better plan, quite frankly.
I would just like to say that before the last meeting, I had asked our building department and zoning department, knowing that we didn't have an ordinance that would allow this, to come up with folks. Mike, and you talked to several different cities that has this same operation in them of varying different sizes. You even spoke to Pass Christian about their facility that they had, and come to find out they didn't have an ordinance that allowed it.
Correct.
And don't know how it got approved in their city, but nothing against them. I mean, you know, things are overlooked because we obviously, as a board, overlooked and sent them back to planning and development. But do you have any information that you'd be able to share with the planning and development to be able to help them with their consultant? Maybe put something together that we could, you know, hopefully at you know, a couple of meetings from now, we'll have something in an ordinance form that we could bring back to the board, maybe by the first meeting in May, that we could have something to possibly look at, to send to the planning and development for them to.
I can talk to our advisor and see what he'll come up with.
Okay. All right.
Do we need does it need to go back to the planning and development to have an ordinance change?
No, sir, an amendment to the ordinance can come straight to this board.
And because I would like personally, let's start it out with basically doing a public hearing and sending the letters out 200, like they would do a public hearing, and let's do it right, and send the letters out 200 feet to all the residents within 200 feet of the designated area.
And assuming this board agreed upon the terms of an amendment to the ordinance and adopted that ordinance, an applicant could then file an application consistent with that amendment. That could be considered by the planning commission if necessary, and then sent up with a recommendation to this board.
Right.
And
The
council,
first thing that needs to be happening for the planning commission to have anything to consider, this board needs to amend the ordinance if that's your will.
and I haven't seen it, and I don't know the ordinance number, but I'm being told there's also an ordinance prohibiting containers in our city, so that's gonna have to be addressed too. And I mean, I'm ready to, we can address that at the same time, am I correct?
Well,
Yeah, absolutely. And Mike, I think the containers pertain to container homes. Is that
No, the ordinance, what he's referring to, talks about containers as storage units.
storage containers?
So this wouldn't apply. That's fine, that's good.
can I offer just a suggestion, and to the attorney, to our attorney, and then you tell me, in the past, for example, when the planning commission and the board, years past, did a special use permit or something like that, at this point in time, we wouldn't be changing an ordinance. We would be making a special use for the one business. Now, if that business moved on from this location, it reverts back. It's only for this business. So I think we're cutting out some of the red tape in that situation. Yes, no, or no? Or am I just way off base?
I'm not sure why it would be required to be a special use permit for this particular business as opposed to just an amendment to the ordinance that
Okay.
allowed this type of activity within the city.
Sure, I guess that was just a thought out there, if instead of having to redo ordinance for across the city for this business, you know, and that may fall under a spot zone, or, you know, it's just a thought I wanted to bring up while we're having this discussion.
I would personally like to see the ordinance
Nightcrawler's gonna
revisited,
get out.
and a public hearing. I think that's critical. And, you know, if we're gonna do it, let's do it right.
That's what I'm saying.
Even if
We
it
need to
takes
have-
60 days.
The point is, once this is gone, then
Right.
you understand,
I
okay.
understand perfectly what you're saying, but I tend to agree with Pete. There's a procedure we should follow here by getting an ordinance that fits this, that protects us, the community that we represent, but also the businesses
Correct.
that are gonna be using this.
Mike and I
way-
will visit with Mr. Hessel. We'll track down some ordinance language from other municipalities which allow certain or similar activities, and we'll get an amended ordinance to you by the next meeting.
Okay, All right, that sounds good. Do we have any more discussion on this? I don't know where y'all are. There y'all are. Y'all, we're working on this. Don't give up on us. Okay? So we got, I think, the procedure needs to be carried out properly to make sure that you don't invest and then we come back and say you can't do it. So let's get it right on the first time. So there's no action taken on this besides the recommendations that we've placed out per the city attorney. Okay. All right, next we have Mayor's Office, Marcy Drive. Courtney and I drove by the other day and somebody's began to make the North Drive going into the old Oasis apartments that were taken out by Katrina in 2005 and have started turning it into a dumping area. I think,
Cell tower?
yeah, just south of the
Yes.
cell tower, that road cell tower.
Y'all should have got pictures.
Yeah, y'all should have got the pictures
I
sent
just
to you,
wanted to
'cause
make
Courtney
sure
had sent them out to everybody.
Yeah.
The
It's
question
atrocious.
I've got, and I think we need to absolutely need to follow the procedure on this, is that, do we go through the process of notifying the owners of that property and having them clean it, or do we go clean it and make them somehow chain this off, fence this off, where nobody get in there and start throwing more, and maybe even have them clear their property, because it's grown since 2005 without being cleared, and that was a clean, clear piece of property when Katrina hit in 2005 with the condos on it. It was a very attractive units there. So I don't know,
Unfortunately, my thought is if we go and clean it, then we're setting a precedent. I mean,
But I mean, we,
hey, you clean that property, why aren't you gonna clean this one
I
or this
personally
one?
think we need
You know,
to get Mike to go ahead and start the paperwork on notifying the people that own it. And then give them so much time and recommend to them that they do fence it off.
it's a
game
big eyesore
It
to
is.
the community that lives up that road.
and you hate to put it off on the property owner that if they don't even live here and somebody's illegally dumped there. And I think we're in a catch-22 here, so,
I mean,
whatever the board wants to do, we do need to move forward with it one way or another. I don't know what the pleasure of the board is.
Well, don't you notify them to clean it up, and after so many days, then you go in there with the city and then
yeah, it has to.
Sure.
their taxes?
The
there's a
problem,
procedure we have established.
that particular piece of property has up to 23 different owners.
Oh, Lord.
So, and we're dealing with some corporations at the same time. So it's not like one individual we're dealing with.
Yeah,
just
these
to
were
know what you're-
individual condo units in that
Correct.
complex.
And we don't know who has property. Where's the debris on whose piece of property it is? in
That
the
should be
23?
common area property.
Sir?
That should be a common area property there that, that all of them are responsible for maintaining the
Right.
grounds. But I would think, and I would like to recommend to the board that we follow the procedure, but we keep this in the forefront of our mind that as soon as we get the authority to go ahead to 23 or 24 condominium property owners, we'll share through taxes the responsibility of paying us back for cleaning it if we follow the correct procedure.
Yeah, I have a question, George. Is there any way, or is it against the law, maybe Steve can tell us, that we don't have, our H2O people go out there and put up dump dirt on the driveway to where they can't get back in there? Build
Like a berm
yeah.
and a game camera.
We can do this, Steve?
I wouldn't recommend it, Mr. Parker. Two things could happen. One, other people could say they're dumping on my property and I want you to protect mine. Or the owners could come in and say, I don't want y'all dumping dirt on my property. It's created some kind of watershed issue or whatnot. I think the city could, in good conscience, put some no dumping signs there to try to help the problem until we can see if the property owners are gonna take action or not. And then if they don't do what they're required to under our ordinance, then the city could take stronger action. But I'd be reluctant to go out and do that kind of improvements or damage to the property, depending upon how the owner looked at it.
Yeah, Mike, let me ask Mike a question right quick. You're able to pull up each individual owner of those units?
Correct. When you pull it up on the Harrison County GIS, it lists
Okay.
all who are
And
owners of that.
we could send each one of them a notice to make them aware that something's fixing to happen. If they've got to get that cleaned, or we will clean it, and it will reflect on each one of them's taxes. All right, go ahead, Mike.
I've got a question, Mike. Back, by virtue of me being the retired postmaster, I can tell you back when the hurricane hit, the Frisbees were the primary owner of that property. They own 2 or 3 of those units. Is that still the case?
I'm not sure who they all are. We've had some discussion in my office, and I do know there's a couple corporations that own some of the lots. But there's a list of 23 properties on that website.
So I'd like to make a motion that we advise Mike to move forward with cleaning or notifying the owners of the property, and at the same time getting H2O to post some no dumping signs at the entrance.
I'll second it.
All right, we got a motion and a second to go ahead and follow through the procedures of notification of cleaning property and also H2O posting no trespassing signs. We have any more discussion? Hear none. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed, motion carries. And that's all I have at this moment under mine. Personnel, fire department, we've got we got 5 new hires, and police department, we got 1 FTO pay. And motion and second?
So move.
Second.
Second over here. Okay. Any further discussion? Hear none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have City Clerk's Office, the repurchase of cemetery plots. Marjorie Young, motion and second to
Motion.
purchase back.
Second.
You got motion in a couple seconds. It's 2 lots, $500 for both of them, a piece, rather. So, get back to where I got it here, y'all. I'm sorry. So we got a motion and a second. Is any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have budget amendment FY '24 Police Department. Motion and second for approval.
So move.
Second.
Second, all right, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have Fire Department, Chief Scally, you have anything? No, sir. Okay. Police Department, Chief Seal, do you have anything to add? Okay. Engineering, we have supplemental agreement, Overstreet and Associates, Pineville Road Sidewalk Phase 2. Motion and second discussion.
So move.
Second.
All right, this is some extra cost through consultant. I think it goes back, David, correct me if it goes back to land purchase on this one.
Part of it is related to the land purchase. Also, MDOT has required, is now requiring us to do a cultural resources survey for the sidewalk.
God, they nickel and diming us to death.
Cultural, what'd you say, a cultural resource?
Cultural resources survey,
Cultural.
because of the property that needs to be acquired, they're requiring a cultural resources survey.
Yeah. Okay, do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, I needed 4. Ooh. All right.
I'm still searching over here.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Sorry.
Next, we have change order, J.E. Bories Incorporated Southeastern Shoreline Bulkhead.
Wait, we missed number
nope,
2.
we missed-
I missed number 2, didn't I? I just turned both of them. They hooked that together on mistake
Downtown.
somehow. Well. Huh?
That's it.
Downtown revitalization, I got it here, thank you. All right. This is Gulf Coast funds from BP oil spill, and this is on our downtown revitalization. We think we've got around 400,000, 450,000 maybe is what we're anticipating having with all of our projects completed and closed out. And when we did the first review of it, we've met 4 of the 5 that we wanted to do. The next phase could be sidewalks on Third Street, is that correct? Or the community sign and banner sign there at Pineville, Klondike, and Railroad.
That's right. The grant funding was very generally described, and we kind of brainstormed and came up with some projects. Third Street sidewalk was one of them, which we elected to put off and did some of the other projects first. That's where this whole concept came from. If we want to continue to pursue those funds, we could do the Third Street sidewalk. There may be other things.
Yeah, we did had the Second Street sidewalks on here, and we have completed them in entirety.
That's correct.
So I just,
have a,
real quick, not to step on your toes, but before we go further, it's important that we also mention that we've already met our match on this. So any of this
Free money,
$450,000 that we have, whatever we decide to do, if we don't use it, we lose it. So I wanted to make that very loud and clear. This is not coming out of any of our budget. This is money that was given. If we don't use it, it goes away.
Right.
So, there.
I would just like to bring up, though, we've been discussing, and I know we've talked about the sidewalk, and I don't know, talking with Keeney, she said she would, an amendment's gonna have to be done. Am I saying it correctly, an amendment?
Budgets or scope modifications, what they call it.
Regardless. We talked about Jeff Davis Avenue, about overlay, not asphalting, but doing the overlay as far as the coating.
Fog seal.
Vote coat.
Right, vote coat, striping, some of the crosswalks, bricks, we got, I think, stuff, I think, in my opinion, a little bit more pressing than we do to build a sidewalk right now. The north side of the railroad tracks here, the entrance, is, we had talked about, using some, internet money, the sales tax money off the internet to start on the north side of the railroad tracks here. Because, correct me if I'm right or wrong, David, we've got asphalt in the works that's going to come from 5 Points all the way down to the new asphalt here on Pineville Road, am I correct?
That's correct.
So that's already being done, it's in the phase.
It's in the process. It's been approved. We've not issued it to the contractor yet. That's right.
So now we're looking at something that's been all the way from Harper McCon all the way down to Railroad Street. Why not go ahead and finish up the north side of this intersection to make it look nice coming onto our main street? With free money. And that's just my opinion.
That's encumbered money that we've already got on Pineville Road.
Right.
And I think that, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, did we not already discuss using some of that money to do the resurfacing of Jeff Davis and the restriping already?
I thought that was in it.
Yeah, I thought we'd already had that.
You have. I've been working with SMPDD. They're really the experts on some of those asphalt products. The county no longer has that asphalt product in their term bid. So I've been working with them to make sure we get a bid price that the city will have to procure that separately from the county or separate from our already existing term bid. I've been working with them. I just don't have it done yet.
Okay.
So I am focused on the Jeff Davis.
Right, but we're not in the, we haven't done anything as far as allowing for the improvements of the entrance to Jeff Davis on the north side.
That's right. You may recall that there has been some money granted to the city through Gulf Regional Planning Commission. It's an MDOT project to do that intersection and those other ones, which we, Pineville and Railroad and Pineville and Klondike.
Why not stop?
Which we've just sent as we kind of reviewed with you guys, we sent some requested modifications to those grants to allow the city to really focus on ultimately first importance, Railroad and Jeff Davis through Gulf Regional Planning Commission. So there is a project out there to do that intersection.
Okay, that answered my question. What's the time frame on that, or do we know?
We don't know.
Don't know.
That is
MDOT.
still waiting on the Gulf Regional Planning Commission process to revise the scope and funds for that project.
We could make some calls, see where they are within their review and revision.
Well,
I mean, if it's gonna be 2 years,
Let
like
me-
it's
let me-
taken us for the intersection at Klondike and Commission, Klondike and Commission, you know, at least 2 years, we've been with an NDOT project, what, 2 or 3 years at least?
Right.
David, can I ask just this question? What about, is the clock ticking on this, the GCRF money?
Oh.
I mean, is there an end date?
I should have the answer to that, and I'm sorry, I don't. There is definitely an end date. I don't know what it is. They had some timelines, like you need to have this done by a certain time. Now, if we were to do a scope modification, they would probably grant some time.
Can we, because there's
the-
some questions there, can we table this till?
I actually
and
have a
get-
little bit of information on that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Both this and the Quarles House projects, are set to expire in June. So if we're going to continue, we have to ask for an extension on these anyway.
June of 2024.
Correct. They run 1 year at a time.
And we can get an extension.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
There's not going to be a
this.
problem, but
Okay.
we might as well
We'll
do
get
the
an
scope
extension.
modification and extension all at the same
I'm
time.
kind of with Donald, let's
Can we table it to the
table
next
and-
meeting? Are
and
you
see
okay
what-
with that?
Yeah.
The only other thing I would like to mention the banner and sign that we're talking about at Klondike Commission and Railroad there. We're probably looking at maybe at the most $10,000, and that's with the sign, the columns. We have in-house people who could do the columns, lay the bricks. We've got the same bricklayer that Mason that did Station 2, who's on staff. And we think we could do that for less than $10,000 and more likely less than $5,000. So
And those funds are already set
Well-
aside for that.
those funds, like I say, they are set aside. They were number 5 on the list.
So I'll amend my motion to table, and taking out number 5, and I'll make a separate motion to approve the funding to move on with the signage.
That's been
Well, I
approved,
thought
but
that
I
was-
didn't know if y'all were wanting to pull back on it. and that's
No,
why
I
wanna
thought
make
that's
sure
what you were just saying.
hadn't-
I,
You just
Talking
wanna
about
leave
the
it
extra
yeah,
money.
leave it then. I thought we would be holding that up if we tabled it.
That's fine, I'm just, the extra money, I just think we might have a little extra,
Yeah.
some extra projects we could do besides a sidewalk right now.
Yeah, and we got to be sure that what we're doing is within the scope of what we got granted. And
Sure.
Go back to what Donald said, our match was, on any of these grants like this, our match has to be used up front.
Yes.
So the first match was used up first, and then we got into drawing down off of the grant there.
Correct.
So, all right, so we're gonna continue and go ahead and move forward to community sign and banner, and we're gonna get more knowledge on what we need to do and do some more research on resurfacing, after we hear back from our city engineer. All right, no action taken? After that discussion, we didn't do anything. Okay, now we have the, J.E. Voorhees Incorporated Southeastern Shoreline Bulkhead. They're looking for a extension of time, and there's a lot of factors in here. You have it in your packet here. It could be anywhere from the delay in making test piles, the delay in doing the piles that they've began to employ down there, and weather has been certainly a big factor in the delay of this, along with the delay of getting the materials on site. So that's the explanation. Motion
To approve.
approve.
Second.
You got a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have fee adjustment, Overstreet Associates, North Jeff Davis, Greenville Extension. Motion and second to approve.
So moved.
And discussion.
Second.
We got a second. Discussion. Hear none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have 123 West Third Street drainage issue. Patrick had brought this to our attention, and David and Joe have done some investigation into this. The problem is that, and I'll let them explain, that we can't find anything where we installed this at any point in time, that it was probably homeowners that did this. The unfortunate thing is, this goes catty-corner from about the back of the complex sitting there on the west side, catty-corner to the southeast, with a pipe, and there's a drainage box on both locations. Now, what I've talked to Joe and David about is we're gonna have to approach the homeowner and let them know that, you know, there's a new pipe that needs to be run across. And the factor is, she brought the property. I don't know if she or he knew that this pipe was in there as a drainage. But for us to make it right, we would have to take the box that's there on the west side and go south to the back of the property line and go east back to the other box there. David has attached, Dave and Joe has attached a printout of this from an overhead view of where the existing drainage is and then where the new one would have to go. There's several things that we need to find out. Can we get approval to go in there and do this? And then we would need a drainage easement to allow us to go into this property to be able to repair anything that might happen to the new drainage that we put in. Right. I think there's a lot of information that we still need to get together and allow David and Joe to make contact with the property owners and make sure that they get some things lined up. And then we're gonna have to get some clarification from our council here. The removal of the pipes in the ground, going catty-corner across the property, is that the property owner's problem once we fix the drainage to meet proper drainage? This was obviously done way before a drainage modification plan was put in, and that's why it was put in, to eliminate these kind of problems. So I would think, then I would ask the board for the authority to allow David and Joe to do a little bit more investigation, allow our council to look at this and see where we go with this, and to get notification to the homeowner here that, yes, you've got our attention. We're trying to do something here to alleviate this problem, so that we can move forward with a correction of it. And then we're gonna need some, there's gonna be some, she's gonna have to give some, and I think we're probably gonna have to get some to maintain the proper drainage of the other homes around there. It's been dependent on this illegal drainage, is what I will say.
So you need that in a motion?
I would like for us to get it in a motion in a second to approve us moving forward like we are, and we'll have that in the minutes, so we're not burying pipe in illegal places.
A motion.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, Public Works. Joe, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Joe, welcome back. We're glad to see you doing well after your surgery. It's good to have you back with us, and we wish you a continued speedy recovery.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have Recreation. Bob, do you have anything?
We're good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Building Office, Mike, anything of interest?
No, sir, we're good.
Okay, you're doing a good job down there then. Municipal Court, absent.
She's upstairs working for court tomorrow.
Oh. So our court clerk is upstairs preparing for court tomorrow, so she's on the overtime clock. Next, we have Municipal Court, Harbor. Harry, you got anything, buddy?
No, sir, we're good.
Okay, thank you. Community Affairs.
Yes, we have two events this weekend. We have Long Beach Live, finally First Friday, on Friday at the Town Green. The music starts at 7, cruising starts at 6, and then there is yoga at the park on Saturday at 8:30 a.m. And that is completely free, both events.
I'll be there for the yoga.
Instructed it.
Who will be entertaining us at Long Beach Live? Is it Albritton?
Lisa Albritton.
Lisa Lee
Albritton.
Albritton.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And
She's played several times.
she's played several times and had
very
great
good.
reviews. I unfortunately have been out of town each time she's played on the Finally First Friday, and I'm looking forward to being there and hearing her. So I'd encourage everybody to get out, just pray that the weather's great and we could all enjoy it and have a lot of visitors down there. We'll have old cars down there correctly. Of course, you can come out and go have a bite to eat before or a bite after and visit the shop, so we encourage that part of it too. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, thank you. Derelict properties. Assess cleanup fees to 0 Old Savannah NCH Construction Company. Motion and second.
Second.
All right, and we are setting those fees at,
Well, I need to know what the penalty would be. It can either be $1,500 or half the cost of cleanup. So it'd be $1,500 or $317.
My motion's for $1,500.
Thank you.
thank you. So
And
we
this is
got
a resolution, so we need a roll call.
yeah, so that's a substitute's motion to set it at $1,500 for 0 Old Savannah. Roll call. Pete?
Aye.
Donald?
Aye.
Angie? Aye, okay.
Aye.
Barney, okay, motion carries. The next, we have a cleanup fees at 212 White Harbor Road, Sarah Barnes. The motion is second with the amount.
Motion for $1,500.
Second.
And this is substantially above the $494. So, the motion is second to assess the fee at $1,500 to 212 White Harbor Road. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Roll call, yes, I'm sorry. Pete?
Aye.
Donald?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
And Bernie? Aye. Okay. Motion carries. And now with the last one here of this assessing fees is to 320 East Beach and 200 Douglas Avenue, Baywatch Suites. Motion is second to assess those and
Motion
the
to
value-
assess it at $1,500.
$1,500 assessment. We got a second. $554 would have been the cleaning fees for this. Roll call. Pete?
Aye.
Donald?
Aye.
Angie? Okay, Mike?
Aye.
And Bernie? Okay. Motion carries. Next, we have, Mr. City Attorney, do you have anything to report?
No, sir.
Okay. Hearing that, I'll ask for a motion and second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.